So what's up?
Nothing much. I'm getting over the adrenaline rush of shaving my head today.
Nice. Yeah, you shaved your
Uh-huh.
head today. Fuck yeah.
It's fuzzy like a peach, and it's all gone.
I've missed that feeling. I kind of thought about that, like doing that every once in a while, but also like I don't feel comfortable enough in the rest of my body gender, like doing enough to gender me properly to strangers.
Yeah.
And like I shouldn't worry about that, but also I still do.
I mean, maybe there'll be time for that.
Yeah,
Like you've got your whole
yeah.
life ahead of you. You might as well get more comfortable first, and then maybe you can revisit it. There
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
yeah, there is so much time, but I would recommend it. You should, you listener, you specifically, you should shave your head.
Yeah, just fucking shave your head.
You should
Do
shave
it.
your head.
Oh, I do have to get a haircut next week, and I'm probably not going to shave my head, but I'm going to be thinking about it the whole time.
You're valid.
How's the weather been over in rainy old Seattle?
It sure has been rainy. It's been like really muggy and like almost no sunlight. We kind of got some of it today, but like I'm just kind of waiting on the beginning of smoke season anyway, so it's like I'll take what
Yeah.
I can get for now.
The weather's been, not to talk about the weather on a podcast. Sorry, it's been like fucking swimming over here. But last night at about like 8:30, the sky was like so fucking weird. Like I stepped outside and there was such like a green tinge to everything.
Oh, I know
It felt
what
like
you're talking about.
It felt like I was in the Matrix.
It feels completely unreal when it's like,
Does.
uh-huh.
Ugh. Anyways, I thought it was pretty cool.
I believe you.
Nice. You want to do a podcast now?
We sure should probably do a podcast now, shouldn't we?
We should. Welcome to Fear Baiting, everyone. It's your number one Wolverine but a horror movie podcast.
It sure is.
Is that anything?
It might be something. I
All
haven't
right.
seen Wolverine, to be honest with you, but I do know the gist of it.
I mean, I don't know. Is there a movie called Wolverine?
Isn't there?
Yes. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yes, I meant like Wolverine the superhero, not like Wolverine the movie of X-Men Origins, but I guess like kind of part and parcel, I guess. Anyways, it's me, Sarah, and joining me this week is Sue. Is this your first time on the podcast?
Yes, it is.
First time guest Sue.
Hello.
And Sue, everyone who gets on the podcast for the first time, we just have them tell a little bit of like backstory about themselves, like you know, who you are, when you started watching horror movies, what your favorite like horror movie subgenre is.
So, I'm really not that big of a horror movie person. Like, I'm one of those people who, like, if there's enough jump scares, then, like, the displeasure I feel from the jump scares far outweighs the enjoyment I get from most of the rest of the movie. But I'm not, like, opposed to horror itself. I just tend to seek out more, like horror comics and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing I gravitate toward. And I seem to gravitate toward, like, psychological horror over maybe, like, gore for the sake of it and stuff like that. So that's what kind of draws me to the movie we chose to talk about today, because I have so much experience with its corresponding comics.
Yeah, cool. We're not going to get into that just yet because we have to talk about upcominghorrormovies.com, by which I mean there's nothing interesting on the front page of upcominghorrormovies.com, so instead I'm going to talk about Midsummer, which I saw.
Oh yeah, I ended up reading the synopsis on it because I know I'm probably not going to see it, but like I'm curious about its whole deal.
Yeah. So I might try and rope Blair into doing just like a bonus episode where we just kind of like talk about the movie for a little bit. And and on screen, which we haven't done in a while, but I just want to talk about it a little bit because I liked it a lot. Did you see Hereditary?
I did not.
Okay. Hereditary was extremely I hesitate to use the word traumatic.
That's what a lot of other people have said about it.
Yeah. Like that's definitely I feel like it's definitely apt. And the thing is, like, walking out of that theater, I kind of felt like I was exhaling for the rest of the week, and, like, I liked that movie a lot. I might go so far as to say as I loved that movie. That might have been, like, my top 3 movies from last year. It also is a movie that I don't know if I ever want to revisit in my life.
Yeah, that was another one I had to, like, read a synopsis for first, and...
Yeah.
I had to pass, but I do understand, like, why it's good.
But, I bring that up because, I was kind of a little bit worried about Midsommar going into it. Like, I was excited to experience that again because I had never felt that from a movie, but, like, also kind of dreading it because it was just genuinely, like, such a heavy feeling. And I was very pleasantly surprised when I walked out of Midsommar feeling slightly refreshed, which was odd. It was really funny, which I was not expecting, like, genuine belly laughs from a lot of the jokes in that movie. The cinematography was incredible. Ari Aster, there are a couple of problems that I have with it. Ari Aster kind of returns to the well on the visibly disabled child as a source of horror. Returns to that well, and I know that's a very common trope in horror movies, but like I kind of wish that like Ari Aster does so much else that's good, and I just kind of wish that he would realize, oh, that's kind of shitty.
I think there's a good way to look at disability through horror, but
yes.
Not in the way that most, able-bodied people choose to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I haven't had a chance to seek it out yet, but there was a movie. No, scrap that. I'm thinking of a completely wrong thing that's not even germane to the topic. Never mind.
Fair enough.
But overall, I very much liked it. It was genuinely just very, like, if nothing else, I really enjoyed looking at it.
That's one of the, I've mostly just gotten, like, advertisements, and I watched, like, a couple of clips and stuff. And one of the things that really strikes me about this movie, and that I might, take the leap to go see it just because of this, is it doesn't look like a horror movie.
No, it takes place almost entirely in daylight, which is...
And it's like flowery, and it's all very aesthetic.
Yes, extremely. But, just a content warning for suicide and gore in that movie.
Yeah.
For anyone who may be... it's... And also, like... It's one of the most sexually explicit movies that I've ever seen. Ari Aster did an AMA on Reddit yesterday at the time of this recording, and he said that for about 6 weeks during production, it was rated NC-17, and he had to fight tooth and nail to get it scaled down to an R rating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's right on the verge. You do see a dude's just, like, whole-ass dong.
All right. It's a choice.
Yeah, you don't get like a close-up of it or anything. It's just like he's running around like Dickie out at one point. It's like wide shots, but you do very much see his penis.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
I hope he got paid for that.
I mean, I would assume so. Or do you mean he got paid extra for Dickie out?
I feel like you need to get paid extra for Dickie out. Like, if you're gonna do it, then you should probably get paid for it.
Unless there's like a writer in his contract that says like, I'm only gonna let myself be in this movie if I can be Dickie out.
That's true. Really makes you think.
Yeah, you gotta ask who was demanding that this man go Dickie out. Was it this man?
Who benefits from Dickie out?
Yeah, but it was really good cinematography, and a thing that I noticed also a lot, which I feel like I don't normally notice in movies, is the staging in this. Like I don't know if that's the right word. Blocking. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been on. Since I've been in a fucking play.
You're good.
But like there is like some really interesting blocking in it that I really like. That is cool as fuck.
Maybe I'll check it out then. I rarely go to see movies in theater anymore, but maybe this will be worth it.
Yeah, I think this is a good one to watch on the big screen if you are not, like, you know, triggered by those things.
Is there, like, jump scares? Is it one of those?
Not really, to my recollection. There are a couple
then maybe
of, like,
I will.
There are a couple of, like, moments where, like, it cuts suddenly to, like, but it's just, like, an innocuous thing cutting to another innocuous thing.
Oh, well, I can't. I can do that.
Yeah, it's just accompanied by a loud noise sometimes, and it caught me a little bit off guard. There was maybe one time I got sort of jump scared, but it's very, very minor.
I mean, as long as it's actually, like, serving the plot and not just there to be there, then, you know, that's a whole other deal.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, Midsummer by Ari Aster. Look for the episode forthcoming. Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to do an episode on it. But that's not the movie that we watched this week, because this week we watched Tomie. Tomie?
Tomie Beginning, yes.
Tomie Beginning.
This is the 2005 film, and it's the prequel to the 1998 Tomie film.
Yeah. And it's... Well...
It's sure something, isn't it?
Yep. Sure is something.
Yeah, I could have gone with the 1998 Tomie, and it probably would have been a better movie to watch. But I wanted to choose this one because I'm most familiar with the material that the stories in this one comes from. Like, that was... The story that they play through in this movie is one of the first Tomie, like, comics that I read through, once upon a time. So I just kind of thought it was interesting to look at it from that end.
So I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now. Sorry, I'm just finding it very funny because the Wikipedia page has the poster for the movie like it does for most movies, and at the top it says featuring Yoshiyuki Morishita of Kill Bill and The Grudge. And none of the three people credited on the Wikipedia page are Yoshiyuki Morishita.
Yeah, that is something. You gotta wonder what that was.
I'm gonna look at who that is. Yeah. Let me just pull up the IMDb Tribune.
Yeah, it's possible that they were involved and then were like, maybe don't put my name on this.
Yeah. Let's see. Yoshiyuki Morishita. He is an actor who has been in Kill Bill, The Grudge, Ichi the Killer, and that's... Who the fuck was this person in this movie?
I don't know.
He was someone named Takagi. And I don't remember that character.
I don't either. I have everybody... Oh, Takagi is the teacher. He's the teacher.
Is he?
Yeah. So what character did he play in Kill Bill?
In Kill Bill, he was,
That's my only other reference point.
Yeah, that's... Come on. Tokyo Businessman.
Okay. Well...
He was just the Tokyo... He was in that movie, I guess, yeah. I've never seen Kill Bill. Is there a Tokyo Businessman?
There are several, is the thing.
Who was he in The Grudge? He was a character named K-Bean.
Is this, like, the original Grudge or American Grudge? Yeah,
Ju-on,
okay.
The Grudge. And, he is like 10th build on that. That is a big... That is a big thing to brag about. That's just like bragging about, like, okay, this guy was an extra. This guy had one line in Scott Pilgrim, and he was an extra in Cloverfield.
You know what? It's more than I've done.
You know what?
We'll say that.
You know what? You're right. You know what? I apologize, I apologize, Mr. Morishita.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Mr. Morishita. So let's get into this movie. It's a short one.
That was another reason that I kind of leaned toward it. It's a nice little bite of this story.
What is it? 70 minutes?
It should have ended about 15 minutes earlier than that, but yeah.
So yeah.
We'll get there.
how does this movie starts with a class reunion that is
It
for
starts
some reason
with a shot of a man playing soccer.
with a very deflated soccer ball, to note. Yeah. Yeah, it starts with a guy playing soccer with a very deflated ball, and then he goes inside a school building and walks into a classroom, the place where, I mean, I don't know about Japanese high school reunions, but, like, I feel like if my high school reunion took place in a classroom, that would be weird.
It's even weirder because this school is, like, completely defunct, like...
Yeah, like, it's like an abandoned school that they are holding their reunion in. Like... Maybe like a bootleg reunion, like maybe like the stag party of college the stag party of college reunions.
Urban exploration.
Not stag party.
Urban exploration, class reunion, I guess.
Is stag party the thing? Like the bachelor
yeah, that's like a bachelor party.
What's the thing where it's where you like don't go to prom because you're going to something else?
I don't know if there's a name for that. I went to one of those schools where you actually went to prom.
Shrimp-interesting.
Shrimp-interesting.
Okay, I was getting slightly confused because going stag is the term used to refer to going to the prom alone.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's their class reunion, and it's only
2 people show up.
Yeah, only these 2 people.
Mm-hmm. And their names are...
Yamamoto is the guy, and he's...
And he has an eye patch.
Yes, he does now have an eye patch. And then the lady who comes in, who is in, like, a trench coat and covering her hair, is Matsubara Reiko.
Yes. And then the rest of the movie from there... Well, most of the rest of the movie from there is just flashbacks to... the time that they spent with the titular Tomie back in high school.
Right. They have this really fun, dramatic shot of them sitting at their appropriate desks, and then they point at one, and they're like, and she sat right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we flash back to the time Tomie gets introduced to school, and it's just like, hi, my name is Tomie. I go to school here now. And then
as soon as she raises her head, there's this long shot of, like, the reaction of everyone in the class, and all of the men are super horny.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's her introduction, I guess.
Yes. Then is the next scene the one where the big tough guy who is never seen again is beating up the scrawny dude with the camera? Yeah,
so Inoue, who is the guy who has the camera, is getting beat up by Gondo, who's the
Gondo,
big dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's beating him up because he wants the camera to develop a photograph that's on it that he took of Tomie.
Well, the precedent at first is that he was taking these pictures secretly, which... Mm-hmm.
And Gondo's like, that's fucked up, dude.
Uh-huh. But...
And then Gondo's like, but I also want to see it.
Yeah. So they cut directly from being mean to this nerd kid to the room where you develop the photos, the dark room.
Dark room, yes. And they are like, they just develop a photo and it's like, yeah, this is Tomie. And then Tomie walks in the back and is like, hi everyone, what's this photo of me?
Guys, when'd you take that?
This is a photo of me? That's fine. That happens all the time. Can I have a cigarette though? Which this is the thing that I genuinely like. Like she asks like, does anyone have a cigarette? And then one of the guys pulls out a pack of cigarettes and a lighter, and she's just like, thanks, but I don't smoke. It's bad for my skin.
Uh-huh.
And she just grabs the lighter and lights the camera, or lights the photograph on fire. Which catches rather quickly despite... I mean, I don't know.
It is covered in, like, developer fluid.
Yeah, what is in that?
I don't know the exact makeup, but I know it's very flammable.
Okay, I was unaware of that. For some reason in my head, I just kind of thought that was water for a lot of my life.
What she is doing here is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah. But, I mean, very obviously, like, in real life, that thing was, like, was just, like, sitting in water.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because it takes a couple of seconds to light, and then, like, she, like, throws it back in the bin, which is far more dangerous.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, well, bye, boys. And then they look at the photograph, and they're like, oh, no, because there's a ghost coming out of her head in the photograph that's partly burned.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it takes a couple of seconds to light, and then, like, she, like, throws it back in the bin, which is far more dangerous. And then they look at the photograph, and they're like, oh, no, because there's a ghost coming out of her head in the photograph that's partly burned.
It's spoopy.
Yep. And then do we have Reiko's first flashback scene?
Yeah. So, for some reason, Reiko is just out walking, and apparently it's nighttime.
When you balking.
You're just having a nice walk in the woods at night. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly Tomie is there.
Yeah, Tomie is there and is like, will you be my friend? And then Reiko doesn't say anything, and Tomie is like, that happens. The women hate me. Everywhere I go, I am bullied.
All of the boys love me so much, and it's just such a burden.
Everyone hates you. Everyone hates... My doctor says that everyone hates me because I post correctly and I'm so good to look at.
It's just really funny, too, because Reiko's like, yeah, they do. Everybody does hate you.
Yeah. It's a very Miranda Lawson Mass Effect 2 thing where she is just... I feel like sometimes she just seems to be, like, complaining that, like, she's so perfect and everyone hates her for it.
Yeah, the movie does really make this scene like that.
I said that out loud, and I realized I have very little sympathy for I had very little sympathy for Miranda Lawson's entire thing in Mass Effect 2. I have no idea if that was just, like, poorly written or if that was just internalized misogyny that I hadn't taken care of.
It could be a little bit of both. Like, I haven't played through much of Mass Effect, but from what I've experienced, it could be both.
The writing is very good sometimes, except when it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a really cool shot. Like one of the few good things I have to say about this movie is that there's like this really cool shot where like Tomie is like face to face with Reiko and like leans in and puts her head on her shoulder. It's like a side shot of them like face to face, so they're both like. And Tomie puts her head like behind, like on the shoulder that's on Reiko's behind shoulder, like the one. Basically, Reiko's head is in front, and it's a really cool thing because like Tomie's face is very visibly different in the back once it goes around the other side, and I think it's really cool. And it's like slightly off sync, and like I think that may have been a production error because it feels like the face does not emerge at the same pace at which it went in. Like it does not like emerge from behind her head at the same pace that it like passed, but I think that's like whether that was deliberate or not, I think it like looks cool and was genuinely a little bit unsettling.
And it's an intimate shot too, and I think that's really important in all of the interactions that Reiko has with Tomie, I think, because going back to that shot at the beginning where all the boys in class are very horny for her and all the girls are just like stone-faced. Reiko is the only other person who shows any sort of emotion. Like this actress is not super emotive to begin with, but it sets up the nature of like her, I guess the word I'm going to use is attraction to Tomie.
Yeah, I think that's the right word. It feels like attraction.
I mean, yeah, if you look at the Wikipedia article, it talks about like overt lesbian overtones, which is generous, but I think the intent here is to imply that like Reiko has some non-platonic feelings here, and maybe that's the reason she's the only other girl who gets to interact with Tomie like a normal person.
Yeah, because is this when the other girls show up and start like trying to bully Tomie?
It's right after. Yeah,
because one of the girls walks up and like is like being weird and territorial.
Yeah.
And so she slaps Tomie, and Tomie slaps her back visibly harder. And then they do that again where the other girl slaps Tomie again, and Tomie just like fucking home run slap across the face.
Oh, it's really good. This whole thing is like the girl who like comes up and has her lackeys with her. Her name is Natsu, and this is an argument over Tomie supposedly seducing her boyfriend Yoshino. Mm-hmm. So they're taking
the glasses guy?
Yeah, that's glasses guy. So they're exchanging some slaps here, and Tomie is just giving back whatever Natsu gives her, and it's very good.
Yeah. It's like The Craft. Whatever you do, anything you do is returned three times back onto you.
I mean, it seems only fair.
She slaps her 3 times harder.
I don't know. It's like this is a weird scene because like Tomie is super haughty about this whole thing. There's no there's no way you're meant to sympathize with her in this happening, even though she's, like, just described to you how she's bullied everywhere she goes.
Yeah. And I think that's good.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's definitely it's proving that Tomie is, like, I mean, Tomie already was pretty suspicious, but, like, this kind of cements her as, like, just an unreliable source of information.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's good sometimes.
Sometimes it's good.
Sometimes this movie is good, but not most of it.
Uh-huh.
I think most of it is kind of...
No, it has these flashes of brilliance, though, and that's why I brought it to the table.
Yeah. Sometimes there's some gold in a turd.
Yeah.
It feels harsh to call this movie a turd.
Yeah,
I don't think this movie is actively bad. I think it's middling.
Yeah, we can get to this, later, but I think the budget was really what kind of did it in. But
this movie's budget is, and, like,
yeah.
I have definitely seen movies with less budget than this. I don't know what this movie's budget was, but, like, I can tell that this was just on a low budget. But, like, I feel like I've seen movies with lower budgets that I have enjoyed more than this, and I feel like this is less of a budget. Like, it is their budget, but I just don't think they, like, accommodated their budget properly.
Yeah.
If you watch, like, I always cite this movie because it's the one Nollywood film that I've seen, but it's called Usafia in London, and that movie is, like, very visibly made on a shoestring budget, and it does not suffer for it whatsoever. It's, like, genuinely hilarious and very refreshing, and just free of, it's just joked, and it's, like, free of the irony poison that is plaguing American comedies, I feel like, lately.
Yeah, I think we can probably make a better point about this once we have gone over some of the parts where there's practical effects, because that's where I think we can get more into this.
What's next? Because we go back to the present, and then they have more flashbacks.
Now, I think we should cover that the point of this whole, Mean Girls scene with Natsuya over Yoshino is that Reiko has to choose whether or not she's going to associate herself with Tomie. Mm-hmm. And she apparently makes the choice to, stand by her despite not having a whole lot of reason to at this point. So, like, her motivations are, as of this point, unclear until we get into the waterfall scene.
Yeah. So you want to run us through that?
Sure. So, the girls decide to go on a nature walk together. It's suddenly daytime again. And they're going up this trail that has a nice little waterfall, and they're kind of talking to each other the whole time, and they get to a point in the waterfall where you can, get your feet wet, jump in and experience it, and Tomie decides to do that. She's being very charming, and she's being almost what I would describe as flirty with Reiko, and Reiko is, clearly happy to be there, and she thinks this is mostly very endearing with Tomie. So, this is as close to overt as you're going to get with the lesbian tones.
The lesbianity.
Yeah, the lesbianity. The lesbian factor, if you will.
Yeah.
And then the conversation takes this turn where Tomie's like, just so you know, like, I always get total revenge on all of the girls who bully me. This just comes out of basically nowhere, and she's just like, just so you know. It's like, all right.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm fucked up and twisted.
Uh-huh. But it's kind of cute. Like, there's a lot of fun eye contact, and it's I don't know. This is what kind of drew me to, another thing that drew me to this movie for this podcast specifically is that there's some fear baiting going on here.
Tee-hee, yes it is.
Tee-hee.
Tee-hee.
Which, I'll maybe once we have wrapped up more of the plot here, talk a little bit more about why that matters with Tomie specifically, but...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What happens after the waterfall scene?
Then it cuts to Natsu in the classroom, and she's talking to Yoshino, Glasses guy.
Yes, yes.
Yes. And he's waving her off. He's being an asshole.
Yeah. And then he's like, here, take a look inside this plastic bag.
Uh-huh. Just out of almost nowhere, he starts, like, breathing super hard and heavy. Like, this is the most, I think... Not the most, but this is one of the instances of, like...
scene in the movie.
He's very emotive, and he takes risks that the other actors do not take in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, good on this guy. He's a good horror actor. He starts, like, getting himself just hyped, and then he tries to suffocate her in this plastic bag, and it's, like... very unnerving.
Yeah, but then he's like, just kidding. And then Tomie comes in and is like, hey, I'm fucking this guy now.
You think this is a game?
And then he gets on his knees and is just like, please, miss, coochie?
But not before Yoshino says to Natsu, like, you can just drop dead, and then she, like, kind of does. She just, like, passes out at her desk. And I thought she was dead at first.
Yeah, she definitely seems that way, but it's just the oxygen. She'll be fine.
Yeah, and then after that, Yoshino asks for feet pics, basically.
Yeah, asks for feet pics. Yeah.
Please let me see those toes.
Yes, please, miss. Please, just once.
It's bad. She, like, steps on his head. It's weird.
Yeah. It's fine.
These are high schoolers.
They're high schoolers.
And then the scene directly after this is also very uncomfortable. This is the other time we see Gondo.
What is he doing in this scene? I completely forgot.
In this scene, he has, with his lackeys, tied up Natsu's friends, and they're, like, it looks like they're on a bed in, like, the school's hospital room.
Yes. Okay, yes.
And there's the weird, like, budget porn music. It's really out of character for the rest of this movie. This never comes up again. There's almost no music in the movie, and then suddenly there's this, like, funky piano.
Yeah.
And you know, it's weird. Like, they have these girls tied up, and they're surrounded by these big intimidating guys, and it sure has a connotation here. But it's not the particular direction it chooses to go in, which is a relief to me.
Yeah, I very much liked to see it when they did not do the thing.
Yeah, instead, Tomie comes into the room, and this is the only time in the movie where she's not in her school uniform. She's in this, like, I would call it gothic Lolita kind of getup. And she's making tea.
Yeah, that's about right.
She's making tea for her friends, who she loves very much.
Natsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to give Natsu some tea. And Natsu needs some nice chamomile tea so she can log off.
God, I wish I could log off.
Oh, if only it was so easy.
No, instead of chamomile tea, she decides that cockroach tea is really what these girls need. So there's a shot of this, like, rubber ass, like, cockroach in a teacup, and she's, like, trying to forcibly give it to one of the girls, and it's, like, spilling all over her face, and it's just this rubber roach. It's very good.
Yeah, it's great. I love to see a practical effect.
And you know, you can't have tea without having some sweets. So she brings out some what are clearly candied superworms.
Yes.
Like, these are the things I feed to my lizard on occasion. Yes, without the candy, obviously.
Your wonderful lizard Tupac.
My wonderful boy Tupac, who I love. And she, like, takes a bite of one herself, which is only fair.
Can you give me a really good photo of Pac that we can post in the episode description?
Oh, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah, perfect.
My good boy Tupac.
What were you saying?
Oh, that's okay. I was talking about those fun bugs that she's Which, it's only fair that if she's gonna, like, force them to eat them, she's gonna try them herself, too, so, you know.
Yeah.
No harm,
And
no foul here.
She finds them slimy yet satisfying.
Uh-huh. Tasty.
Just like the Lion King.
Uh-huh. And
Can we
that's...
talk about the Lion King for a short while?
Oh, we could. We certainly could.
I am just... It just looks so bad.
The new movie is...
Like, I don't really... Like, I like the original. I do not have any, like extreme reverence for it. Like, I feel like some people my age do.
Uh-huh.
I don't begrudge those people. I just don't have that myself. But, like, it's just disappointing. That movie was so colorful. And now it just looks like a fucking 2008 ass, like, video game. It's just so brown.
I mean... My whole thing with this is I think it was only intended to, you know, make back whatever money they spent on making it and to extend their copyright on that material for as long as possible. Because this gives them another, you know, several decades with this concept.
This movie comes out next weekend. Okay, I thought it was out this weekend, but not until next. Will be not. It cost $250 million to make that movie. By the way,
it's going to be really interesting to see if it actually makes that back.
Oh, I mean, I don't know that there is a world where it doesn't. Like, it's The Lion King. People are going to see it on name recognition alone.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who saw Lion King as a kid are now of the age where they would have children who they want to show The Lion King to as well. And, like, they're going to be like, Lion King 3D animated. It's good.
Ugh.
And I love to see it.
I'm just already exhausted by the idea.
Me
There's a new
too.
Disney movie literally every month now. It's like...
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Seth Rogen got second billing on the Wikipedia page.
That's how you know a movie is good.
Like, it goes Donald Glover as Simba. I guess technically they also have like an indent for like J.D. McCrary as young Simba, and then Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
Okay.
And then oh my god, I'm going to butcher this name. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Is that right?
I honestly don't know. I'm not the person to ask, unfortunately.
Pronounced Chiwetel. Let's just look at a quick video. Okay. Yes. It goes Donald Glover, J.D. McCrary as young Simba, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, and then Alfred Woodard is Sarabi?
Okay.
Like, what is the ordering on these credits, Wikipedia? Like, this is just making no sense. How is James Earl Jones as Mufasa like the anchor on this thing?
Who even knows?
Man, they changed Ed's name too. The hyena.
Why?
Yeah. His name is now Azizi.
Okay.
And then they changed Bonsai to Kamari.
Whatever, man.
And they made them
so
not
tired.
Funny. They made those hyenas not funny.
What is
like,
the point?
Do you know who is the voice of those hyenas?
I do not.
It's Florence Kasumba, which is a name I don't recognize, I'll admit. But the other two are Keegan-Michael Key and Eric Andre. And you're not gonna make those characters. You're casting them, and you're trying to, and you make those hyenas scary.
Oh. Whoa. Eric Andre?
Yeah.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Normal world. Anyways, we talked about The Lion King for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Hold on. Before we move on, what is the next 2D animated classic that Disney is going to announce? I mean, I know we already had The Little Mermaid on the horizon.
They're gonna do one of the racist ones next, probably.
Oh, good! Finally a 3D version of Song of the South. Been looking forward to that.
Or the Three Amigos.
Oh God, I really like so far none of the movies they've like done live action remakes of are ones that I watched as a kid.
Right.
Or no, that's not correct. Rather none that like came out when I was like old enough to remember them.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for when they do the 3D the live action remake of The Emperor's New Groove, which is like that is like the first Disney movie that I like remember coming out.
Oh, if they fuck that up, I'm gonna.
They will. There's no if. Like what of these quote unquote live action remake? And I say live action, even though I know the Lion King one is all 3D, is all CGI. I digress. I'm normally more pedantic than this, but I just want to make sure I don't get ats.
It sounds like there's hope for the Mulan movie.
Oh God, that's right. I keep forgetting that one's happening too.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some hope for that.
God. Can they slow down?
No.
There are so many.
They absolutely have to keep making money until they're the only people who have money. Fuck you.
I'm so tired.
Capitalism has been really good for the arts, as you can tell.
Yeah. God, the cast in that Lion King movie is so fucking good, and I'm so sad it's being wasted.
Why would you bother paying for that kind of star power without actually even using it?
Like, it's just unreal.
Uh-huh.
Like, this cast is just unreal. Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Alfred Woodard, Billy Eichner, John Candy, John Oliver, Beyonce. Beyonce is like second to last on the Wikipedia billing, which is wild. James Earl Jones. Yeah, she's Nala, isn't she?
You would think that if you want to get asses in seats, you would really lean on the fact that Beyonce is in your movie.
Yeah.
This is baffling.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just Wikipedia, but is this, like... This can't be how they're advertising this film.
Okay. We need to get back to Tomie.
We probably should get back to Tomie. So, we just had our Superworm party, and now we're at the part where everybody knows not to fuck with Tomie anymore.
Yeah. No one fuck with Tomie. And then there's ninjas.
Yeah. Suddenly there's ninjas. Just hard cut to a scene of the girls running through a field. Hot pursuit of, I don't know, 3 guys in costumes.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
They're ninja costumes, yeah.
And one of the first lines in this scene is like, what's with the costumes?
Yeah.
And it's this, like, goofy-ass high school guy shit that would totally happen, so I do enjoy that, but...
Yeah, and then they cut off Tomie's ear.
They sure do. They take some swings because they're going to they really want to free themselves from Tomie's thrall, which I think is interesting and very different from a lot of, like, you know, seductor horrors, is that most of the people in this situation are at least kind of self-aware.
Yeah.
But they're trying to end Tomie, and they get about as far as cutting her ear off.
Yeah, and then they get revealed for who they are, and they run off scared, right?
Well, Inoue gets revealed.
Inoue, she's a Jess.
Yeah, because for some reason, they can just tell who that is. And then the ear does that thing.
Yeah, it grows legs and runs away.
Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's fine.
This is where we can start talking about, like, the practical effects in this movie, because they clearly haven't, like, spent much on this prosthetic, but it does look, you know, stringy and kind of like that the stretchy body horror that Junji Ito does, like, in the comic, but it sure just scuttles across the floor and disappears.
Has there been a good adaptation of any of Junji Ito's work?
The anime that came out recently, I think they did a good job with that. They did a lot of...
Really? I thought I heard a lot of, like, negative review. I thought I heard a lot of negativity around that.
Well, it really depends on the episode. So I think what people didn't like about it is they only really chose stories that would translate well into anime, in my opinion, by and large. But they did a lot of different stories, and some of the stories are better than others, I would say.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think a lot of Ito's best work is in his short stories, so I was satisfied with it.
Have you watched any what is it? It's like Yamashibai?
I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've gotten to it yet.
I haven't watched enough of it. It's just really good, super short. It's just really good, like 4 or 5 minutes episodes of and they're just like short stories, short horror stories. Yeah, Yami Shibai, Japanese ghost stories.
Okay, good to know. I might have seen.
There's like 7 seasons of it, and the animation style is really interesting, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, that sounds like my kind of thing.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, but this is with the ear thing. One of the scenes that I think kind of ends up undermining what's scary about this story. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't very satisfied with seeing the ear kind of scuttle away, and that's like about as much as you don't get much of a reaction out of it, and that's confusing to me.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens.
Yeah. It just kind of does very much happen, and I keep forgetting your name. Reiko?
Yeah.
Reiko is like, well, that's weird.
Boy, that sure happened. Maybe I better invite this person whose ear just spontaneously grew things and scuttled off. Maybe I should hide her in my bedroom.
Yeah.
That seems like the way to handle this situation.
So, yeah.
We get to the scene where, you know, Reiko is hiding her in her room, and she's about to go in and change, like, her super bloodied up bandage. They spent a lot on food coloring, I think, in their shoestring budget.
Yeah.
And as soon as she does, she discovers that Tomie's ear has grown back. And the whole time that Reiko is processing that, Tomie is giving this speech about how she's, you know, all alone wherever she goes, and she relies on herself because she's learned that she can't rely on others because they're just gonna hurt her. And it is like, okay, yeah. I don't know. There's this scene exists in the comics, and it felt a whole lot more like meaningful when you had some reason to feel like Tomie actually has feelings about this. Like, that's one of the things that I think is missing between the comic and the movie, is like the comic kind of convinces you that Tomie does have like self-awareness, real feelings about, you know, the situation where she's, you know, hurt over and over and over again for things she can't control. But the movie repeatedly undermines that. And this is one of the places where it does that, in my opinion. But it cuts to Reiko falling asleep in the same bed that Tomie was just in. No explanation about where Tomie went.
I'm stealing this like entire line of thinking from Jurgenet. But this genuinely feels like this movie got passed back and forth between 2 directors both of whom thought the other was just a complete fucking idiot.
Well, one of my theories about this is that the person who directed it and the person who cut it are not the same person, and probably have very different ideas, and we're just kind of working with whatever the director gave them.
Yeah.
And that's probably more evident at the end.
Yes. God, the end of this movie is a lot.
It is. But for now, we have Reiko, you know, jolt out of this dream where Tomie is like dressed in a kimono in a dark hallway, and she's holding this big old traditional Japanese like ball thing called a temari. And she suddenly rushes forward, and the temari turns like into, it's hard to tell that this is what it is, but it's her own head. And all you really see is like her hair. But she rapidly approaches holding her hair, and it's supposed to be very scary and
And then Reiko sits up from a dream as though she had like just kind of woken up and not like been jolted awake by a nightmare.
No. Feelings, we don't have those here in this movie. But
emotions are not necessary.
No. They tried really hard to keep this film as solemn as possible, and it sure didn't work. But after Reiko wakes up, all of the blood of Tomie's bandage and her abandoned school uniform starts to just kind of rise and fall, and suddenly there's hair cascading out, and then suddenly there's this hand that's grabbing up all the clothing and everything that's there, and it, crackles and reforms into an entirely new Tomie.
Tomie 2!
Tomie 2! So we can count 2 existing Tomies in this particular timeline at the moment.
2 of them.
2 of them. You get 2.
Yeah. And then what happens in between that and like them like dismantling Tomie?
So between that, there's that really uncomfortable scene. This scene cuts directly into the super uncomfortable scene where Tomie is underneath a ping pong table, and
yes,
Takagi Sensei, their teacher, is laying on top of the pool table. There's no explanation for this. They're on the school roof.
They're just, and they both have ping pong paddles in hand.
And Tomie crawls up from under the table, and she's like peeking over it, and she's like engaged in trying to seduce this teacher who comes out looking a lot better in the movie than he does in the comics, because he says, I don't want you, I have a wife and child, and you're a child, and she's trying very hard to seduce him, and he is like, he's very clearly under the thrall, but he is fighting against it as hard as he can. And he doesn't fight that hard in the comics, I would say, but he does, have some awareness of the horror of the situation. So there's that scene. Yamamoto walks in on it and tries to like beat up the teacher, and it's weird. There's not a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
And then straight from that, they cut to what is supposed to be a scene while they're on a school trip. The comic does a way better job of clarifying the context for all of these scenes. But they're on a school trip, and they're in the mountains, and Yamamoto has just pushed Tomie off of a cliff. Because he is so enamored by her that he can't handle it, and this is as good of a place to mention it as any, I guess, but in the comic, it's kind of implied that Yamamoto is not interested in women in any other situation. Like, pairing him with Reiko is kind of, it's not going to be overt, but it's kind of like, the 2 gay people in this situation. And
the old double beard.
Well, and it's very important that they're gay when you start to think about how Tomie's thrall works. And the comic makes the thrall on Yamamoto really complicated because he has no interest in women to begin with. So part of his horror is just that he is being forced to have this attraction to begin with. And this movie does not talk about it at all. But he murders the primary Tomie, and or what we think is the primary Tomie, at least. And the class's reaction to this is, of course, really weird. Like, the girls that were trying to bully her before are very happy about it. They're like already laughing, and nobody is sure what to do. And Reiko has this moment with her while she's like dying on the ground, and she's like describing what it's like to die, implying that she has died before, I think is what the scene was trying to get across, and kind of didn't. And it turns from here to, they're back in the present day classroom, and it's Reiko and Yamamoto talking to each other again, and they start talking about how they think Tomie is something close to, like, a planaria that can be cut up as many times as you want, and it's still going to reform, you know, a new Tomie. So you can divide her over and over and over again and spread her out wherever, and she's going to continue to, you know, break down entire classes. And then it cuts back to the class kind of losing their shit over the situation, and teacher comes in and is like, okay, here's how it's going to go. Yamamoto isn't going to turn himself in. We're just going to divide up the body, and we're each going to take a chunk of it and dispose it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about, like, the scene of them taking apart the body?
Yeah, it's... I mean, I don't know that there's... It was just very weird. Everyone is very happy about the body parts that they are pulling from the body.
This is another thing that's, like, way more effective in the comics than it is here. Yeah. But everybody sure is thrilled at, like, the beauty of the inside of her body. So there's, like...
That really didn't get... Like, I guess that kind of makes sense if you think about it. But, like, in the moment, it definitely felt more like, wow, body parts, this rules. And not like, oh my god, I'm still even horny for her, like, for her spleen or what the fuck ever.
They sure do take advantage of, like, buying beef heart at the supermarket and using it as a prop. Like, they hold up these, like, you know, vague lumps of meat.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But then Reiko is like, I don't want to participate in this. And then, like, the next day, Tomie shows up in classes, and everyone's like, hi, don't act like don't be so surprised. You act like you've seen a ghost. And then everyone starts freaking out. And then, like, we hear a monologue that says, like, 4 people died by suicide that year. And everyone else is just kind of like, all right, let's just not talk about this ever again.
Yeah, everybody else either, like, died somehow or went crazy forever. And, you know, this is another thing that's just way scarier in the comic is, like, the whole point is she took all of these 38, like, perfectly normal people and just dissolved them in a month. Yeah. Just through the sheer presence of her.
Yeah.
So...
And then we go back to the present?
Yeah, we go back to the present, and Reiko tells Yamamoto that she still has the piece of Tomie that she had to take. She had her heart, and she decided to freeze the heart and then bring it there with her in her purse, and then her intent was to bury it at school, but then she remembered, oh wait, that'll just let another Tomie reform.
Yeah.
And as soon as Yamamoto knows that there's a Tomie, he kills Reiko and takes the heart out of her bag and just kind of fucks off. Like, that's the last we see of him.
Yeah, but then Reiko wakes up and she's like, surprise, I'm actually Tomie.
And this is the first ending of the movie. This is where you think it's over, right?
Yep. And then she walks to the window. And then the professor, her teacher shows up.
Before that, when she walks to the window, she gives this whole speech about how men are stupid and she's going to spread herself across the nation. And then
a real Tomie Appleseed. That works better on paper because
I get it.
Read it on paper. If you read it on paper, you might mentally mispronounce it as, like, Tommy Appleseed as opposed to Johnny Appleseed.
I believe you.
But yeah, she just has this whole speech about how men are stupid, and then, like, that's the first time the movie ends. And then her throat gets cut, and there's just, like, blood spraying because her teacher shows up, and
he's just at the window. All of a sudden, there's a man in raggedy clothing, and all of a sudden, somebody stabbed her.
He has a sword.
You know how you wait around for however many years it's been, and you're just waiting to kill somebody with a sword.
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't been there?
Yeah, of course. So Tomie's, like, bleeding out on the desk, and he's, like, continuing to stab her. The scene takes way longer than it needed to.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, my work here is done. And then he leaves. And then
he tears out her heart. And
yes, heart 2.
Yes, heart 2. So now we can count there's the primary Tomie, There's the reformed Tomie, there's the first Heart Tomie, and now there's another Heart Tomie, as well as all of the Tomies created by dividing her body to begin with. And, like, he is somehow aware that she's going to regenerate from these body parts, so, like, his intent is to go and purposely spread her over the country.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
And then, Reiko Tomie is sprawled out on the desk with her heart cut out. And then she's alive again, and she gives the exact same speech she just gave at the window.
Yep, and it's ending number 2.
Except this time she says, "This world is raw fear!" And then it, like, cuts to black. And that's where you think the movie is supposed to end for realsies this time. Except it's not. It's not over yet.
Yeah, because we get one more scene. Is it, who's got her head?
It's Yamamoto.
Yes, right, thank you.
Yamamoto has, it's the heart. He has a,
yes,
he has her heart in, like, a plastic bag, and he's carrying it with him away from this scene, and he looks inside the bag, and there's her eye with the characteristic beauty mark staring up at him, and then that's the real end of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
that's the end of the movie.
That was the film.
Yep. We took almost as long describing it as the movie was.
Say what you will about how this movie is cut, at least they didn't make us sit for it longer.
Yeah. On a scale of 0 to 5, rubber beetle, or on a scale of 0 to 5 rubber cockroaches, how many rubber cockroaches are you going to give this movie?
I give this movie, I'm going to give it 2.5 to 3 if we're being generous. If we're, like, on a scale of 1 to 5, because, like, this is a different plot than the Tomie that I know. Like, the Tomie that I know is a kind of, it's more or less about the horror of being Tomie, as well as the people who are, like, hurt by her mere existence. Like, I'm looking at the omnibus of these comics right now. There's a lot more stories that kind of convince you that while Tomie clearly enjoys the power that she wields, she's also aware that she's going to have to keep reliving these super painful situations over and over and over again just by, you know, that's what she exists to do. And young, like, assigned female at birth me was really kind of enraptured with this story of someone who lives with this really toxic relationship with her own, like, femininity and beauty, and finds power and, like, horror through it. It meant a lot to me just for those reasons. And you know, this film doesn't quite get that across, but as a singular experience, if you're not going in expecting what you're going to get out of the comics, it's not bad. Like, there's moments that are kind of fun. Like,
I think, it's for the first. I think overall it comes to around, like, 2 rubber roaches for me. Like, I think the first half is a lot better than the last half, and the last half is just kind of, like, descends into, I don't even really know.
Yeah. I really wish they would have leaned a little harder, if they were going to even bother including it at all, into the nature of Reiko's relationship with Tomie and what that means with the way that her thrall works. Because, like, it kind of implies that Tomie has this, like, universal control over men, specifically. And, you know, then there's, you know, this women-loving women kind of thing going on, and it's kind of clear that Reiko's fascination with Tomie is completely unlike the thrall that she has on men specifically, and it would have been a lot more interesting to explore that if they were going to even bother with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. You want to get into questions?
Sure, let's get to questions.
At Mogu Blue wants to know, what are your favorite Junji Ito references or stories? Amigara Fault still gives me nightmares. I'm not as well versed in Junji Ito as I kind of wish I was. I need to experience more, because really all that I have read is Amigara Fault, but that's all. It does very much scare the shit out of me.
Amigara Fault is really good. There's a reason that people keep bringing it up, because it is really good. A lot of his short stories are where you can see, I think, some of the best of Junji's work. He had a new one come out recently, I think.
Yeah, I feel like I heard about that.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was called.
but some of the stories that I particularly enjoy, there's one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this lady who just shows up at a house, and she's like weirdly horny for this house, and it dissolves into her becoming one with the house, and it's really like uncomfortable and really interesting. I also, despite it being such a goofy premise, I really enjoyed Gyo. It's about, what happens basically if everything in the ocean came out of the ocean. So he did something really interesting with that too. So.
Yeah. I know this is not only a Tomie thing. I'm just looking at I'm looking at Junji Ito's Wikipedia page right now. I know this is not just a Tomie thing, but I think it's very funny that Tomie had the final chapter, Forbidden Fruit, and then 3 years later we got Tomie Beginning, and then Tomie Revenge, and then Tomie versus Tomie, and then Tomie Unlimited.
Yeah, they did a lot of Tomie movies. They got a lot out of it. I don't even mean to say that Tomie is even some of Junji Ito's best work. It's just some of the work that, like, I was most interested in, at a time.
Yeah.
But, like, I would also recommend, like, Uzumaki is another good baseline one. He did his own Frankenstein recently. That was pretty good. It's really hard to go wrong.
Yeah. So we want to get to recommendations, then get the heck out of here?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have a recommendation?
Oh, fuck. Can I go next?
Yeah. My recommendation this week is going to be... Oh, fuck. What am I going to recommend this week? I mean, I've recommended A Place Further Than the Universe multiple times on this podcast, but I just finished rewatching it again last night, and it's really good still. Still made me cry. Genuinely, I think might be my favorite anime of all time. It's really good and sweet. And I also got really mad today because I found out that there are only 7 works on Archive of Our Own about it, which is really sad.
Seriously?
Yeah. 7. And like, no, like they're all like fine, but like only like 4 of them are about like the kid. But if there's someone, write more. If anyone's listening, please write fan fiction.
Write more fan fiction.
What about you?
So, since I was already talking about, comics and manga, I'll recommend another manga. It can be kind of hard to find, but if you can hunt it down, I think it's worth it. I recently read a story called Pink by Kyoko Okazaki. It's really interesting. It's about a girl who has a pet alligator, and she does, like, sex work in the evenings to be able to afford to feed him, basically. And it's just kind of about, like, her self-examination as, like, a young adult sort of coming of age, and it has some explicit scenes since it does, involve sex work, but I just think it's kind of a charming story. It's a little sad, but it's, like, a very human story, so I would recommend it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, Sue, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Anytime. This has been fun.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sue Makes Art. That's SU Makes Art. You can also find me on Tumblr. I'm at least 5 lizards. I hang out the most in the Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die Discord. And
to clarify, that is at least 5, like the digit 5
yes,
lizards.
At least 5.
At least 5, not the word 5 lizards.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to launch my new podcast soon. The name is tentative, but I'm thinking an open sketchbook. I'm just trying to bring academic art back down to a human, accessible level. So I want to bring people on to talk about how they experience art in their everyday lives. So
Nice.
Yeah, that's me.
If you want to find us anywhere, we are fearbaiting everywhere, and that includes Patreon, patreon.com/fearbaiting. If you would like to support the show and get any bonus content and early access to the podcast, $1 a month gets you that. $5 a month gets you a short message if you're choosing, and we read your name. $10 a month, we read your name, and you get to make us watch a movie. So thank you to Michael Kaiser, Paul Moran, Kit Spindler, Paul Bechtel, and Ducky Aisha. We love you all very much. If you want to thank you, first of all, thank you to Matt, GameCube and the NoiseSpace.xyz network.
Thanks, Matt.
On which this and all of the podcasts that I do are hosted. Also check out the Wonder Years, which is the Animorphs podcast that I do with Blair, this podcast's editor, and Seda, the person who is responsible for the intro and outro music. Thank you to both of them for their work on this podcast. If you want to find me, I am Sunhat Zhenya, SUNHATZHENYA on Twitter and on Twitch. And I think that's everything.
I think that's it.
Until next week, I've been Sarah.
And I've been Sue.
And remember,
you can put a fucked up guy anywhere.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.